Hello and welcome to today's episode. Today we are at Lufasi Park and with me is my PA for the day, David. David, what do you want to say to them?
Good day everyone, we are at Lufasi Park. He is going to be talking about heritage and me and the other children will be looking forward to listening.
You will change their perception of you and your people because the more you go into their space, the more there is no energy in you that you're trying to transfer to them. Don't bother about people who can't pronounce your name. You can't take that on, right? If you now say because I can't pronounce your name, you are going to change your name for me, you are doing a disservice to yourself. How many times are you going to change your name? How on earth can you not pronounce it? Abodedele. Yay! So that's wonderful. I've been invited to speak about heritage. I'm very happy because I feel that what we need to pass on is to the younger generation. So it's a pleasure talking to them about heritage, culture, and identity. As you all know, this is very important to me, and it's part of what we hope we can do. Impact on the younger ones.
My name is Adesha Yamauso. I work here in Lufasi, and in 2016 we had a camp in here, and it was really interesting. We have a lot to do with some sort of capacity building with community members. So we got them the people to train and all of that. But in 2017 the camp didn't hold, and I saw parents coming in to make inquiries, and then when we tell them, oh, this person is not here because maybe I think she relocated out of Lagos. So I could see how pained the parents were and their children, because they were coming to say, oh, I want to register, and I felt really bad. I think it was at that point that I just remember that I've always wanted to find a way to actually impact young people. Several things, because I believe that it's either they're a disaster waiting to happen or they're a blessing waiting to happen. Now it depends on what we put into them. And then like 6 weeks holiday during summer is really long.
It's a long time.
Exactly. So I just felt, okay, this should be an opportunity. So that 2017 I started, working towards 2018. And so I spoke to two of my friends in 2018, and one of them, in fact, the two of them already have different NGOs. So we came together in 2018, and then we ran the camp here for 20 days. So we have started since then. They need to hear it about preserving our heritage. It's important.
It is. It is. So that's why hubby came in, and I'm sure he's got a sterling.
I mean, as soon as I thought of it, I'm like, okay, he's a big person on this, so he's the best person to do.
Because just hearing him talk, normally you just know that's what he uses every day, right? Good. Oh, we're just happy that we were here.
We're glad to have you. I really, really do appreciate. Thank you so much.
As I stand here talking to all of you today, one of the biggest things that has done me good in my life is my identity. Anywhere I go, even by my name. Is it better that I have a Nigerian name or English name? Which one do you prefer for me? If you have to choose for me, which one would you choose? English. If you choose, hold on, if you choose English, then put your hand up. You choose English name, okay? Why do you choose English name?
Because I feel like it would be more easier for others to pronounce.
You think it would be more easier for others to pronounce? Okay, good point. Did you choose English?
Yes.
Okay, why do you choose English?
Because it will sound like common and not odd.
Okay, let me take them as I go along before I forget. So you think it would be easier to pronounce, right? Remember I said earlier that we met some people that were not very friendly and they took us away from ourselves. What they have done is make us feel that anything that belongs to us is not cool, is not nice. My name is Abodedele. Someone say, oh my God, that's so long. Oh my God. And then I should feel embarrassed and say, oh, I wish my name is Williams, But because I'm a proud Nigerian man, I would say to them, the way I can pronounce your English name, if you can't pronounce my African name, there's something wrong with you. Because you're not English, but you learned to speak English. So they're not African, they should also learn. But as an African person, if you don't stand your ground, then you're not defending your identity. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's very important that you uphold what belongs to you, right? So please remember that the best, trendiest name in the world are African names. Why? Because we are Africans. And you said because it's easy to pronounce. What did you say? It doesn't sound odd. Okay, what is odd? Who defines what is odd or not? If a Frenchman came here and told you his name is whatever French name, you would never say it's odd, even though it does sound odd to you. But because we have been brainwashed or indoctrinated to believing that anything Western is so cool and anything African is not. There's nothing odd and there's nothing not odd. There is only differences. Things are different. Do you understand what I'm saying? There are differences. I realize that the more confident you are in who you are, the further you would go in life. Because people who are assessing you, they can work out how you feel about yourself. When you show weakness, they feel they have you. When you show strength, then they know that they can't mess with you. And that is the honest to God truth. Yeah? Thank you so much.
It's more formal for people to pronounce. You can have another tribe name, but you should have an English name.
Okay, all right. I understand where you're coming from, but we're the only ambassadors of who we are, right? We are the only one who can sell ourselves. It doesn't sound formal because we all take on what don't belong to us. Change those street names from white people's name back to black people's name. In fact, I'm advocating for the Nigerian government to do that. All this Victoria land, and they must all change it back to Yoruba names because we're not English. And this is what that does. It makes us feel that it is cooler to have other people's name or to have Western things around us. It's not good at all because it takes power away from you. We have to own power. Anywhere you go, when you speak your name, if someone can't pronounce your name, you should put it on them. It's not your problem. You can pronounce English names, can't you? So you learned how to speak English, didn't you? So why can they not learn how to speak your language? So we have to stand our ground and say, this is who I am, and I'm this person with pride. The first way you claim yourself is to claim your identity, is to claim your heritage. And a name is an identity.
Because it's more easy to understand.
Why is it easy to understand? Because you learned English and you can speak English, right? Right? Okay. So, if you go to France, you know France? Okay? There are white people there, but they don't speak English. Right? If you go to France, you are going to communicate with them somehow, aren't you? And the French actually, even the ones that can speak English, don't want to speak English because they want to emphasize their identity. I'm an African woman, I'm a Yoruba girl, I'm an Igbo girl, I'm an Hausa girl, and this is what my culture and my identity does. And I have to hold that. If you don't hold it, who is going to do it? You can never run away from yourself. It's not possible, right? Because you're going to displace yourself if you try to do that. Thank you very much.
If I had said English, but the reason why I chose English is because your tribal name, my tribal name is Awele. My neighbors, they always mispronounce my name, and they've known me for how many years, but still they mispronounce my name. If I get $1 every time they mispronounce my name, I could have been richer than Elon Musk.
Okay, good point. People mispronounce, but it doesn't mean you should abandon it because they mispronounce it. My own name is, a lot of people, whilst it's the simplest name to pronounce, but because of the psychology that English has put into our heads, people believe if you see the way it's spelled is how it's pronounced. Abodedele. If your head is in the right place, it's very easy to pronounce. But everybody just messes it up. But that don't mean that I don't want the name anymore. I have to let them know. Even white people in England, I'd never let you pronounce my name wrongly. If you don't pronounce it correctly, then I would say to you, you're not addressing me because that's not my name. If your name is Blackboard or Cricklewood or whatever it is, you expect me to pronounce it correctly, and I do. So there is no reason for anybody not to pronounce your name correctly. When I was in South Africa, I had a friend, her name was Nklapo. They have to do that, Nklapo. And because she was my friend, I had to learn how to do that. And she's so amazed that, oh my God, you pronounce it correctly. I said, because it's important for me to do do that. This is who you are. I don't want to alter you. So please don't let anybody tell you your name is hard or is not hard. So thank you, and remember what I said today. You seem like a very energetic girl. Use that energy to uphold yourself and to propel yourself to great heights. But identity is strength. Everybody must remember that.
English names will be easier to pronounce because traditional names sometimes can be confusing to other people, depending on their perspective.
Depending on their perspective?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Very, very good points. But you know, we are all different, right? Are we robots or are we human beings?
Humans.
We are human beings. It is only a robot that will do exactly the same thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? If we all have English name and we are all doing English things, do you know how boring the world will be?
No.
Can you imagine, like, if you go on holiday, they're doing exactly the same thing everywhere in the world? Can you imagine that? So you say, oh, let me go on holiday and see what's happening in Ghana. You go to Ghana, they're doing exactly what they do in Nigeria. You say, oh, let me go to Australia. You go to Australia, they're doing exactly what they do in Nigeria. You say, let me go to India. You get to India, they do exactly what they do in India. Wouldn't that be boring?
No.
It wouldn't be boring.
It will.
Huh? It will.
Not be boring.
Huh?
Flight.
Well, yes, the flight might be the fun part of it, but the memory is the most important thing when you go there. When you go to India, you see how they eat, you see how they cook, you see what they do on the street, you'll be like, wow. If you go there and you see the same amala you see in Shangotedo, you see the same rice and stew, you say, this food that I've been eating in Nigeria, I come all the way here to eat the same thing. You know, so it's the culture that people go for. Actually, when you go on holiday, the experience is mainly the culture, the difference from what they know. This is why they say it's good to know the world, because when you know the world, you're more experienced. But if the whole world is the same, what is there to know? Right? So it brings me to what you're saying. You know, we are different set of people. Right? We are Africans, we are Nigerians, right? We are different from anybody else.
Okay.
And it's very important to know that. And you see, what they try to push upon us is the fact that we all have to do the same. Do you know that you are unique? You are unique. You
Yes,
can't
sir.
do exactly the same thing. Do you know that?
Yes, sir.
You are created to be different. You're created to be unique. This is what
Yes, sir.
creation wants for everybody here is different. And the most important job you have to do, even more important than winning lottery, is to find your own uniqueness. The day you find your uniqueness, you won't have any problem in life. Because then, what I want will not be what you want. If I cannot promote Yoruba and Nigeria, I don't think even creation will be happy with me, because I'm created in this geographical area for a reason. I left the UK with my family to come to Nigeria, and it's the best decision of our lives to come back here, because everything is here. If you're rich in Nigeria and you're rich in London, you're going to have a better life as a rich man in Nigeria than in London. I can confirm and guarantee that to all of you. Right? And there are more business opportunities in Nigeria than it is in America, UK, Canada put together. But we don't look for it, so we don't see it. We believe that we have to, if you don't go to London, you're not going to be human. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir.
Please remember what I said to you today. It's going to help you. You are who you are. You cannot change. You should not change. You should not even wish to change. Own yourself. Be proud of yourself. And when you walk, put your head up like this, because you're somebody. Don't walk like this, because when I see you walking like this, you're already showing weakness. When you're coming like this, very majestically as an African man, because we're the most majestic people in the world. Everybody knows that apart from us. The whole world knows. Do you know without Africa, the whole world would collapse? Do you know that?
No.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yes.
Without Africa, the whole world would collapse. How? Every resources they use for everything. Your phone. The cobalt they use in this phone, most of it is found in the DRC, in West Africa, very close to here. Right? That's why they're exploiting them. They're killing people every day to get cheap cobalts and then make it into billions of money for themselves. So if we, the Africans, don't see that, it won't be a good thing. So we have it all. Let us claim it. I was happy to come here because I'll be speaking to young people, and it's part of my intention to come back from the UK and try to enhance the younger generation.
So my own problem is pronunciation.
My name is Abodedele. Everybody, when I was in the UK, hardly anybody, I used to laugh at them. Please claim yourself is very important. Identity is strength. Can you run away from yourself? Is that possible? So how can you run away from your name? How can you run away from your culture? Okay, you must not prefer any culture than your culture. You must not prefer any race than your race. Right? You must love yourself the best. In fact, when you look in the mirror, you should see the most handsome boy in the whole world.
So, good morning to everybody. I hadn't planned to speak today, but I've heard so much here that made me think I need to say something. And it's just an extension on what my husband has been saying. The name is really important. As you can hear, I have a different accent. I was born out of Africa, but as a black person, I know I am African. My parents might have been born out of African, but their grandparents and their forefathers, everything stemmed from Africa. And I have Caribbean links, and I did live in London. And I'm so happy, as my husband said, that we as a family have been able to come back to Africa, because there's a connection. There's more than what you see in front of you. There's spirituality, there's a universal connection. All these things, they empower you and give you a higher vibration if you connect to them. And one of them things is your name. And I am going to try and learn Yoruba now that I'm here, because English is just something that took me away from myself. And I'm so happy to be back here in Nigeria. Okay? So, thank you. I think that's probably all I
think that you should have both, because English is easier to pronounce, yes, but you should also have your identity with you. So they should talk to you. People little that cannot pronounce your name should address you as your English name. Then your native name should be people you know that can pronounce your native name.
Okay. All right. Thank you. But have you ever seen an Englishman who will say, let me have one English name and one Hausa name, or one Yoruba name, or one, because they are pure in what they are. So we have to be pure in what we are as well. You understand what I'm saying? So your name is unique to you, your identity, your culture. This is where you come from. And when you go anywhere, you're a representative of yourself. You're a representative of your own environment. And one of the quickest way to identify a person is by name. As I said, when I talk to you, in fact, when you see me before you talk, I want you to know I'm a Yoruba man. Because if you're not pronouncing my name, then you're not calling me. I know Yoruba language is very, very, if you mispronounce something, it means something else. So you got to pronounce it exactly as it is, right? Do you understand what I've said? Please, your identity is your power, is your strength. Hold on tight to it. Don't let anyone make you feel lesser of a person because of your name, because of how you dress, because of where you come from. You are the ambassador of your people. Anywhere you go in this world, let them be proud of you so that they'll be proud of your land.
Is it bad if you cannot speak your dialect?
Wonderful question. Wonderful question. Can you speak your dialect? Should I start from there? Small. Okay. So why can you not speak it? Why do you think you cannot speak it?
Not because my parents did not teach me. They tried, but maybe it's because I didn't really go to the village that much, or I didn't grow up in the village.
Okay. Okay, good. When I was speaking now, I said parents have their part to play, government have their part to play, everybody have a part to play. Parents have a lot to do with this. Institutions have a lot to do with it. Because, I feel that we believe that the more Western we are, the better. That's the general thinking. Let's be specific to Nigeria now, but even beyond Africa. And parents tend to push their children more into speak English. Yoruba is vernacular. Igbo is vernacular. Don't speak Hausa in the house. In fact, some parents go as far as accents. Some parents want their children to have American accent or British accent and not Nigerian accents. Right? In my very humble opinion, is not a good thing at all. Again, you are an ambassador of yourself. How can you not speak your own language? How can you give priority to another language? I think it must be compulsory in every school to teach the local dialect of Nigeria. I think every Nigerian child must speak their local language. It's not only the responsibility of the school, it is even a bigger responsibility on the parents. It's a bigger responsibility on the parents. They must ensure, right? You don't have to go to the village to learn. If your parents speak it to you in the house, you'll pick it up.
Adedayo. Then people usually call me Adi. My mom don't call me Adi. My friends call me Dayo. And sometimes they call me Adebayo. So is it still advisable for me to convince them to call me Adedayo Fu? Or they should shorten it as either Adi or Dayo? And some people call me Bayo, which I'm not very
Okay. What do you prefer?
Adedayo.
You prefer the full Adedayo. So please tell them that I would rather be addressed as Adedayo.
I wanted to ask that why is it that when you go out and like your dialect is Yoruba or Igbo, and some people think you go out to a restaurant and somebody is eating your friend and you speak Yoruba to your friend, why is it that people think whether it's embarrassing to speak?
Yes, thank you. Very, very, very good question. It is actually because we don't have pride. They have taken that thing away. Now they're making us feel that anyone who don't speak English is local. So please, it's not embarrassing to speak Yoruba. It's not embarrassing to speak Igbo. It's not embarrassing to speak Hausa. It's not embarrassing to speak Efik. It's not embarrassing to speak what is you. You are you and you must claim you.
What if your dialect and your culture and everything is far from where you are? Let's say I'm from Edo State, it's a East Lower Government, and my language name is Onosho Zotena, and my English name is Tena. So when I tell people, okay, what's your name? I say, my name is, I say I'm Onosho Zotena, Tena. So I say, what do you call Tena twice? So they don't like understand my dialect, they don't understand like my name and everything. So most of the time I just shorten it for I say I'm a Tena. Or it's only if I'm writing it down and I put it full, or it's only someone that I communicate with that I can understand that actually puts my tribal name. Is it right to just put your English name there?
I understand where you're coming from, but sometimes we need to be strong enough to educate people. You know, but your name is your name. If you have an English name and an African name, you know, what I'm trying to say to you here is do not be shy of who you really are. You know what I mean? Never be shy. And it's very important to stand your ground. It's very important to educate people. People sometimes want to tease you. They want to push you to that position of uncomfortability. I get what you're saying. The children always tease people, and I don't want to underplay that, and I don't want you to misunderstand that, you know. Nigerian children born in London, they say, oh, where are you from? My parents are Nigerian, but I was born here in it. I say, because you're born here, does that now make you British? Are you and your parents from different countries? Is that sensible? And when you make trouble in Britain, they will deport you back to Nigeria. It doesn't matter if you're born there. You're only a citizen as long as you're conforming. Are we all happy to be Africans? Yes. Are we all proud Africans? Yes. Are we all proud Africans? Yes. It is the best thing that can happen to all of us to be ourselves, right? It is the best thing that can happen to all of us to be ourselves. There are so many things, I can't go into all of them. Parents have their part to play. Teachers have their part to play. Government have their part to play. But I don't want to put too much into your little heads. Let us leave it where we are today. Just to say heritage, culture, identity, these are pride. These are things that God has given to you, and we cannot change that. You are born into a family for a reason. You are born in a particular country for a reason. So please remember that. Claim yourself, and that would see you through anything. Right? Okay. Thank you.
I enjoyed listening to your speech, and it was nice being part of Inspire Bootcamp, and I'm looking forward to next year.
I also enjoyed listening to my parents talk about the importance of heritage, and make sure to like, subscribe and share.